Hey y'all, this is AL Pick My Dog, and you know what I'm watching. You know what I'm watching. She's Gotta Have It. And every single time I think of that title or whenever somebody says it because they're referring to some movie that they've seen or whatever, and somebody's saying something about that, y'all, it always makes me think of a song that I live for. And I'm gonna sing, I use that very loosely, I'm going to sing a version of it that I love. And to my knowledge, the original was by Bobby Womack. Well, at least that's the first person I ever heard sing it. And I live for him. And the person who covers a lot of his songs is Calvin Richardson. Now, I don't know if y'all know him or not, but Calvin Richardson is everything. I feel like he has not peaked yet. He is everything. He came out a long time ago, and I feel like he still hasn't gotten his just due. But yeah, here's the song. Do them things to keep a smile on her face. Say things to make her feel better every day. Then you got to stay on your P's and Q's. If you don't, the woman you could easily lose. I love and I've lost her. I've been suffering from all the pain that the love has caused me. Oh, the woman's gotta have it. I believe it. Yeah, you got to know that she's needed around. When you kiss her, you gotta make her feel it. Every time, boy, you got to know that she's not a walking on shaky ground. Oh, yeah, yeah. Don't take for granted the smile on her face. Check a little bit closer, you might find a tear trace. Maybe the girl may never say a mumbling word, but you gotta make sure that her voice is heard. I love, true love, and I've lost her. I've been suffering from all the pain that the love has caused me. Oh, the woman's gotta have it. I believe it. Yeah, she's got to know that she's needed around. When you kiss her, you gotta make her feel it. Every time, boy, she's got to know that she's not walking on shaky ground. Y'all, the song is everything. Y'all, if you ain't up on Bobby Womack, and if you ain't up on Calvin Richardson, how dare you? How dare you? Now, all kinds of people be remaking Bobby Womack songs, like, for real. There's a line in this song, and let me see. What's that song say? Think it over, think it over, think it over, my brother. Yeah. Is it the same song? But anyway, what's his name? Casey Haley has remade a song. If You Think You're Lonely Now. I think that's a Bobby Womack song, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, Calvin Richardson has set it all the way off with his rendition of Bobby Womack songs, like, for real. Like, within this same song, he transitions to another song. He made a video for it and everything. And then he slows it down. And it's a song that says, That's the Way I Feel About You. The song is everything. And it's funny because he likes to talk a lot. And that's what Bobby Womack does. So he actually does all the little ad-lib, little talking segments that Bobby Womack does and all that. But y'all, I done took up 5 minutes. So anyway, let me get started on this little review. So, watching episode 1. And y'all, it's already started off at 18 months after where we all left off last season. Now, just in case people don't know about this show, you know, this movie, actually it was a movie. She's Gotta Have It was a movie. And, you know, it's a Spike Lee joint. And he actually was in the movie. And he made a point to be in the TV show. And I'm sure he's going to somehow find a way to make an appearance this time. I haven't seen him yet. But yeah. So I'm watching the first episode, like I said. And it started off 18 months after we left off. And where we left off, one of her exes, or somebody she was trying to be serious with, because if you know Nola Darling, she ain't really trying to, you know, put serious labels on stuff. And so now she's actually trying to be serious with the woman, and her name is Opal. And Opal has a daughter, and she is of age enough to where she knows what's going on. She sees the lesbian relationship for what it is. She sees whether or not Nola is actually being serious with her mama, and she has actually even asked, you know, are they going to be a thing? Are they being serious? They mesh well from what I've been seeing anyway. They seem to have family time, all this stuff. They live together, whatever. So what they did was they showed where all of her other ex-lovers are in their lives and what they're doing. And y'all, Mars is still being Mars. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I ain't missing nobody's name up. So I apologize for that light that just happened right there. So, yeah. The guy who's playing Mars, y'all, he is still being himself. The usual Mars is hot. Like, it's a hot day in where Brooklyn or wherever they live or whatever. And he out there selling water. He out there selling bottled water. He always somewhere hustling. And, you know, that's one of his side gigs. And y'all know his current job is working as a delivery boy on a bicycle courier for a Chinese restaurant. Whatever you want to say. He delivering Chinese food on his bicycle. So, yeah, on the side, he hustling water. And it's 100 and some degrees outside. So, you know, people are buying that dollar. And no matter how much it's going to be, they're going to pay for it. If they really, really want it bad enough, because that's how hot it is. So that's what he doing. The guy who plays Greer, he is in a park or somewhere and rubbing some woman down. Y'all, he is always about a woman. He always has a woman in his arsenal. Like, y'all, I've forgotten if he goes both ways or not, but he is very much into art and all that, like, for real. I mean, it's no shade or whatever. He really is into art. And I forgot if he's actually into men or not, but he always has an arsenal of women. So he done pulled out one for that day, and he rubbing her down in the park or wherever he at, out in the open, rubbing her down with, I guess, suntan lotion or whatever. Anything to have his hands on a woman, doing something. Because he is a very sexual being. He does the absolute most. The other guy, y'all, who is Jamie Overstreet, we got to take a pause for the calls on him, y'all. I have always lived for this man. His name is Lyric in real life, y'all. I've always lived for Lyric. To me, he gets better with time. He's the older of all of her ex-lovers or whatever, and he's everything, and he married or whatever on here. And y'all, I cannot. I am so here for him. He's just fine for no reason. I don't be understand. It's just so chocolatey and just so scrumptious looking. I'm just like, Lord have mercy. Why you do this? You make people like him just look so tempting. So I see why all these people be out here sinning the way they do. You know what I'm saying? He really, like, that dude really is like everything. He is way up. Y'all, so anyway. But they basically are showing everybody in their life, and Lyric's character, Jamie Overstreet, he was out and about riding bicycles with his son, and, you know, just having father-son time. But yeah, y'all remember the last season, that she made all of them meet one another unexpectedly. And yeah, that was a seriously crazy situation. Lies and deception. Lies and deception, honey. So, ooh, you know, she seems to be really, really happy because when it came on and they showed that she and Opal are like together, I was like, whoa, okay, she's really trying to be serious, y'all. And then they actually had a whole sex scene, a lesbian sex scene. I was like, y'all is doing the most. Like, they was really out here doing the absolute most with the sex scene. I was like, all right. So she seems to be very much so involved and very happy in her relationship with Opal. I have a feeling that that's not gonna last because Mars went to his real job, and when he got there, late as he always is, he found out that they closed. And apparently, you know, rent is high and ain't nobody got time to be renewing leases, and then y'all want to keep going up on the rent, and so the people went on out of business. They gone somewhere else, or they went home back to wherever they came from. I don't know, but they are gone. They ain't get no notice or nothing. They just showed up to work and they had everything just locked down. Ain't nobody coming in, ain't nobody going out. They just gone. So he in his feelings because he lives with his sister and he goes half on the rent and stuff with her. So later on in the episode, he goes home to her and she's praying, and she gets up and they start talking, and that's when she finds out that he doesn't have a job. So she instantly got on his case and told him that he needs to man up and grow up. And he tried to tell her, well, I got 50 on it basically. And she was like, I need half the rent. What am I going to do with this? So she kicked him out. She was like, maybe it'll help you grow up. So she kicked him out. It was bad. Jamie Overstreet and his wife are actually getting a divorce for real. And they both are getting their own separate lawyers, and just like, look, I want this divorce to end amicably. And she's kind of making it seem like, well, I don't think it's going to end the way it needs to because you have never told the truth and have been able to own anything since the day I laid eyes on you and met you. So, y'all, I don't know how that's going to end. And, yeah. But, yeah, Mars has taken it upon himself to get out. And he went to Nola's house and had the gall. I mean, he has no couth. You know he has no couth. He does not care. He know he got to do what he got to do. He was like, look, I'm gonna do what I got to do. I'm going to ask her if I can move in with them until I get my stuff right. And so she looking at him like, what? And so he was like, please let me crash on y'all's couch until I can get my life right. And, you know, she was like, the clock is ticking, you know. I'm going to let you stay here, but the clock is ticking. And yeah, this is very much so temporary. He tried to offer her the same $50 and she was just like, no. The clock is ticking. Ain't nobody got time for this. And she had to make it clear, we are platonic. Do not sit up here and try me. And he, being Mars, you know, the person that he is, he did not understand what she was talking about. And so she was like, you do know what that means, right? And he was like, yeah. And so she had to basically be like, don't be trying to have sex with me and all this other stuff. Be respectful of my relationship. And so he tried to make it seem like, I'm going to put some respect on your relationship. I know y'all real. I ain't going to do nothing to disrespect you or your home, whatever. So we're going to see how that pan out. I don't know. All right, y'all. So I stand corrected. I was thinking that Nola and Opal live together, but they don't. They still have separate places. So thank goodness for that. But yeah. So with the situation with Mars coming and living with her, she finally said something to her girlfriend. And so she was like, wow, I kind of wish you would have came to me, you know, and discussed this with me before you said yes to, you know, him moving in, essentially. Y'all. And then the thing that Nola does that trips me out, she does like these these moves that dudes normally do. And she'll skate around the subject and will try to make you forget that you are upset with them or you have a problem with something that they're doing. And so she moved in close and then gave her wine. And so she was like, oh yeah, so you're trying to liquor me up now too. But yeah, she does all this stuff. So then not long after that, they're having breakfast at Opal's house. And something that Nola does is after Opal's daughter, her name is Skylar, if I'm not mistaken. After she's done eating, Nola takes pictures of her. They do like a little photo shoot before she goes to school or whatever she's gonna do, sometime after breakfast or whatever. So that's what she does. And Opal was not here for it. And it's to the point where Skylar is so excited about that part of breakfast that she neglects to really eat all of her food. And she's ready for the photo shoot to begin. So she and Nola were having their moment, having fun. And then eventually Opal got upset and in her feelings and was like, this is my house. I was like, ma'am, like she put all kinds of bass in her voice. She was like, this is my house. And there are rules in my house. I said, oh Lord. Oh my gosh, ma'am. So yeah, she was talking about how it's rules in her house and you need to eat your breakfast, you need to finish your breakfast and all this other stuff. And it was just a lot. So anyway, I just can't. I was tired. It was too much. I was not ready for Opal to do that. Like Opal, you have to see the show, but Opal, she just don't seem like she would set it off like that. At least not to me. I see her so innocent most of the time, but in that moment, I was like, oh my goodness, not the bass. Y'all, so after Nola had breakfast with her girlfriend and her child, Skylar, she went home. And Mars is there, and his stuff is literally everywhere. You would think that was his home. He has Jordans all around the place, under every crevice, on top of stuff and stuff. He done hung his Mars necklace like in the middle of the bed, on the bed post in the back. Like he has done the most. I'm just like, Mars, sir, what in the world? Like she had to have a heart-to-heart with him. It was like, you need to get your stuff together. Like, how long is it gonna be? Like, you gotta go. And so he tried to make it seem like it's just gonna be a few more days or whatever. And Mars is so complicated and simple at the same time, if that makes any sense. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if he has Asperger's or what, y'all. I need to Google it and see if there's anything to describe what he is. But there's something about him where moments I'm just like, what? And then other moments where I'm just like, okay, this is too much. Oh, y'all, I had a piece of hair on me. But anyway, so they had their moment, and you know, he has the understanding down. He knows what it is. So then later on, he went to his friend's house, y'all. Hold on. Let me get her name. All right, y'all. Her name is Kalinda. I didn't want to say her name wrong. But anyway, he's at her home and he's in the bathroom and he is practicing because he already explained to her when they were trying to have a heart-to-heart after he had already talked to Nola about staying with her that, you know, he lost his job and he had a dream, and his dream has something to do with music. And so I was trying to figure out what kind of music, and it seems like it's going to be all over the place because he was in the bathroom singing. And I mean, at times it wasn't terrible, but I was just like, who is this? I didn't even know it was him. So he was talking about how she has great acoustics. He said acousticals. Y'all know how Mars is. Mars be killing me. I be like, what in the world, sir? But they had their moment, and Kalinda told him, you know, look, I understand what you're trying to do and all that, but we might have a gig coming up. And so he looking like, when did you learn how to sing? And when have you been singing? Since when did that happen? And so she was like, since I was a child, singing in the choir at church or whatever. So she was just like, look, I don't know if the gig gonna really happen or not, so I don't want to give you any details, because he was looking at her like, well, what are the details? And she was just like, look, I don't want to jinx it, I don't know. So, you know, it's just a lot. Like, he is so much to deal with. I would not be able to do it. Like, I would have to take him in the smallest possible doses, because he is really a lot. I really can't. Okay, y'all, so Nola and Opal are out like on a date type of situation, right? But what it turns out to be is a gig that Mars is on, and it's him and a big like group of people like in a band, and he's up there singing. We don't hear any solo moments from him, but he's up there and he's singing. There are people there who have live nice instruments and they play exceptionally well. And I'm guessing that the song was about gentrification, but the way that they delivered it overall was kind of like how Jimmy Fallon does his songs sometimes. Like, I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but he does like random stuff where he's being silly, and the song may be true at certain points, but there was like this one part where they were singing, maybe there's black people in Fort Greene. Now see, I'm not from New York, so I'm guessing that that is a part of, there's a suburb or somewhere in New York where it's only like really rich white people or something out there, or I don't know. I have no idea, but you could tell they were pretty much talking about gentrification and, you know, wanting to go somewhere where there are people of different shades of brown around them and not seeing the gentrification happen. But yeah, y'all, I liked how it ended. That's how it ended, and it kind of had a like little party-esque type of feel that happened. And just in case y'all didn't know, Fat Joe is in this, and he is the host of this place, and his name, I mean, I thought he had another name on here, but every time I've looked his name up, they only have him as Fat Joe. But he was like the host, and he introduced the, you know, group that came up there. So I was like, oh, okay, Fat Joe, you know, he actually is looking on the bigger side these days, because, you know, for a while he had been small. So I'm like, oh, you doing a lot, Fat Joe. What is going on here? Because he was getting real small and fine. I said, oh, what's going on? I'm glad that you ain't, you know, overindulging and doing the things you were doing before. But yeah, y'all, I really enjoyed this episode. So far, so good for me. But like I said, I've seen some of the reviews that have already come out, and I've seen people discussing it as far as like in the comment section where they have seen like an article and then they say something about it, and it hasn't been the greatest because people are saying that the first season was better than this one. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, but for me, so far so good. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to watch any more episodes tonight, but I enjoyed this one. So y'all make sure to go ahead and tune into it. It is on Netflix. She's got to have it. Anyway, y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Bye.